Hello, good morning, students. Welcome to biology class, first PUC. In last class, we have discussed about kingdom Protista. In this class, let us discuss next concept of your first PUC biology, that is kingdom fungi. 2.3. Kingdom fungi. Okay, so this kingdom fungi is also called as mycota. Okay, but it is not there in our textbook, the word mycota, and it is mentioned as kingdom fungi only. So here you have to study about basic characteristics or general characteristics of kingdom fungi or mycota, or salient features. Otherwise we can say the salient features of kingdom mycota or fungi. And another one is different classification of kingdom fungi you have to study. Now let us understand the salient features or general characteristics of kingdom fungi. General characteristics of kingdom fungi. Now let us understand this. There are so many fungi which we can see around us, but what are the general characteristic features of these organisms, fungi? All fungi are multicellular organisms. So these are all multicellular organisms, except few organisms, that is except yeast. All the fungi are multicellular except yeast, which is unicellular one. Okay, yeast is a unicellular fungi. This is one important characteristic feature, and sometimes you may get in the examination in NEET they may ask which of the following fungi is unicellular. So at that time you have to understand that yeast is a unicellular fungi. And all the fungi are achlorophyllous organisms. These are all achlorophyllous organisms. The meaning is they do not contain chlorophyll. Organisms which have chlorophyll can prepare their own food. Since these organisms do not have chlorophyll, they cannot prepare their own food, so that they are all heterotrophic organisms. They are all heterotrophs. All fungi are heterotrophs because they do not have chlorophyll pigment and cannot prepare their own food. Therefore, they are all heterotrophs. So once again you may get a question in the mind. Heterotrophs, it means they cannot prepare their own food, their own organic molecule, so that they have to get their food or organic molecules from other organisms. Okay, what are the other modes of nutrition here if they are heterotrophic? When they are heterotrophic, there are other modes of nutrition. They may be saprophytes, okay, or they may be parasites, or they may be symbionts. So whatever the organism may be, if they are heterotrophs, when they are not able to prepare their own food, okay, they have to get any one of these methods. They have to get food by any one of these methods. Okay, either by saprophytic method or by parasitic method or by symbiotic method. What is the meaning of this saprophytic type of nutrition? Here, these are the organisms which can derive their nutrition or food from dead and decaying organic matter. Dead and decaying organic matter. So when the organism is dead, on which they depend and they can absorb the nutrients, okay, by releasing an enzyme, and such organisms are called as saprophytes. Okay, these organisms depend upon dead organisms and decaying organisms, and from them they absorb nutrients. And another kind of nutrition is, that is parasitic mode of nutrition, where the organism which depends upon the living plant or animal cells, living plant or animals for their food, in which that plant or animal on which this parasite lives, that becomes harmed. And another mode of nutrition is symbiotic, and the organisms are called as symbionts, where both live together and both gets benefited, is called as a symbiotic type of a nutrition. So that here these fungi, some of the fungi are saprophytes, some of the fungi are parasites, some fungi are symbionts. Okay, let us discuss the examples here. One is called as lichens. Lichens is one of the symbiotic relationship or symbiotic association where fungi lives with algae. So here this fungi lives with algae. So this association where both algae and fungi gets benefited, that association is called as lichens. Now what we can understand here, this fungi, since it is not able to prepare their own food, it lives along with the algae and both are getting benefited here. Therefore this relation is called as a symbiotic relationship. Similarly, one more example is mycorrhizae. Mycorrhizae is one more example where, so this fungi lives with the roots of higher plants. Roots of higher plants. Okay, roots of higher plants and fungi. So this relationship, what we call it as a mycorrhizae. Here also fungi is getting benefited and this higher plant also getting benefited. In this way, what happens here, both are living together and both are getting benefited. Therefore this relationship is called as a symbiotic relationship. So that here now what we have understood here, since they are achlorophyllous organisms, they do not have a chlorophyll pigment, so that they have to get their food by any one of these modes of nutrition. So this is another important characteristic of a fungi. And one more thing is fungal body. Now let us understand fungal body is made up of. It is a filamentous one. Fungal body is filamentous. Filamentous structure. Filamentous means thread-like, which we have already studied in the previous classes. Okay, body is thread-like and it is made up of that thread-like structure is called as a hypha. That thread-like structure is called as hypha. Hyphae is a plural, hypha is singular. Okay, fungal body is filamentous and thread-like. That structure is known as a hypha. This is a very, very important term regarding this fungi. Hyphae is a plural form. Okay, and this network of hyphae is known as mycelium. Network of hyphae is called as a mycelium. So this is another specific word you have to understand regarding this the general characteristics of this fungi. Regarding fungi, you should remember these two terminologies. One is hyphae and another one is called as a mycelium. And these words, these terms you will get only in the context of this fungi, but not in any other organisms. Okay, fungal body is filamentous and that filamentous structure is called as hyphae, and a network of hyphae is called as a mycelium. And when we come to this hyphae, there are two different types of hyphae. Okay, in fungus, so this hyphae are of two different types. One is called as aseptate hyphae, and another one is called as a septate hyphae. septate hyphae. Hyphae are of two types. One is aseptate and another one is called as a septate. So this aseptate and cenocytic, aseptate and cenocytic hyphae. So what is the meaning of this aseptate hyphae and another one is septate hyphae? What are the differences between these two? When this hyphae is present, okay, this hyphae is a continuous tubular structure. Continuous tubular structures without any cross walls in it, then the hyphae is called as aseptate hyphae. Okay, and when the hyphae has cross walls, there is a presence of a cross walls here, and then the hyphae is known as septate hyphae. Now this is called as a septa. This is called as a cross wall. When this cross wall is present in the hypha, then this hypha is known as a septate one. And when there is no septa is present, and which is a continuous tubular structure filled with a protoplasm, then this is nothing but a aseptate hyphae. And this aseptate hyphae is a primitive one and septate hyphae is advanced one. So like this, so these hyphae can be classified into two different types. So now let us see reproduction in fungus. Reproduction in fungi. So this is also a general characteristic or salient feature of hyphae, but for the sake of our convenience and from the point of examination, we have to study in this way separately. Sometimes you may get in the examination question like this, write a note on reproduction in fungus. So therefore, I explain in this way so that you can better understand and you can answer for the question in the examination. Suppose if you get a question in the examination that I explain reproduction in fungi, then it becomes easy for you people to write it in the examination. Okay, anyway, so suppose if you get a question, write the general characteristics of a fungi, and at the time you have to include this reproduction also. It's part of a general characteristic. Okay, this fungi reproduces by various methods. One is vegetative method of reproduction, and another one is called as asexual reproduction in fungi, and another one is called as a sexual method of reproduction. Sexual methods of reproduction. So like this, fungi reproduces by various methods: vegetative reproduction, asexual reproduction, and sexual reproduction. Now, what is the meaning of this vegetative method of reproduction? Vegetative reproduction is nothing but here fungal hyphae, it undergoes fragmentation. So that vegetative reproduction takes place by fragmentation. Vegetative reproduction takes place by fragmentation method. It takes place by different method. Fragmentation means here hyphae, this hyphae, so can break, it can be broken down into small fragments. So it can be broken down into small fragments, and each fragment can grow into new fungi, okay, new organism. This method of reproduction is called as a vegetative reproduction. And even sometimes it takes place by budding method also, by the formation of a small bud, as in case of a yeast. Okay, so this vegetative reproduction takes place by the formation of a bud. So these are all various methods of vegetative methods of reproduction in case of fungi. And one more very important aspect you have to understand regarding fungi is, okay, asexual reproduction in fungus, and another one is called as a sexual reproduction in fungus. So both asexual reproduction as well as sexual reproduction of fungus, they takes place by the formation of different types of spores. Okay, they takes place by the formation of different types of spores. This you have to understand. Asexual and sexual reproduction takes place by the formation of different types of spores. What are these spores? Spores are the microscopic asexual reproductive units. Some of you may not be understanding this. Spores are asexual microscopic reproductive units. Okay, now you have to understand what are the various spores of asexual reproduction and what are the different types of spores of sexual reproduction. Here you must know about this asexual spores and sexual spores, because which is very important from the point of a NEET, and here they may give questions to identify the asexual spores and sexual spores. So asexual spores includes conidia. Conidia is one of the asexual spores, and another one is called as a aplanospores. Aplanospores. Okay, so these are all asexual spores, and another one is called as a zoospores. Okay, so these are all asexual spores. Similarly, sexual spores includes, one is called as ascospores, and another one is called as a basidiospores. So like this, these are all various sexual spores. So these are the spores which are produced during asexual reproduction, or asexual reproduction takes place by the formation of these spores, and sexual reproduction takes place by the formation of these spores. So in this way, these spores are more significant in the reproduction of a fungus. So very important from the competitive examination point of view. Okay, so children, you please remember in the examination they may give combination of spores. Identify the correct combination. In this way they may ask question in the NEET examination regarding these spores. Okay, so this is about different methods or various methods of reproduction. And fungi will have another one is sexual cycle. So sexual cycle, here sexual reproduction, it takes place in a cyclical way. So that is nothing but a sexual cycle. It includes three different stages or phases. Sexual cycle of a fungus, it includes three different phases or stages. First stage is known as plasmogamy. So here we have to understand what you have to understand here: gamy, plasmogamy, and another one is called karyogamy, and which is followed by meiosis. So these are all three different stages of a sexual cycle of a fungi. What is the meaning of this plasmogamy? Here you can come across the word gamy. So here also again, so it means gametes, because in the sexual reproduction which involves mainly gametes, so therefore here the term the gamy is used repeatedly. Here plasmo means protoplasm. Okay, so it is a process of fusion of protoplasm of opposite gametes or two gametes, or male and female gametes. Fusion of a protoplasm of male and female gametes is called as plasmogamy. Okay, two gametes here. One is called as a male gamete and another one is called as a female gamete whose protoplasm gets fused. That process is called as plasmogamy. Okay, so you have to write just fusion of protoplasm. You should not forget to use this word. Fusion of protoplasm of a male and female gametes is called as plasmogamy. Okay, so I wanted to make you still clear. Now this is a male gamete and one more is a female gamete. Okay, so which has got their own nucleus. What happens here? Both male and female gamete whose cytoplasm gets fused. So the fusion of a cytoplasm of both the gametes takes place, which is what we call it as a plasmogamy. And karyogamy, here karyon, you have to understand these Greek words, that is karyon means nucleus. So nucleus of both the gametes, okay, they get fused in the same cytoplasm or in the fused cytoplasm. Okay, so that process is called a karyogamy. So that it is a fusion of nuclei. It is a fusion of nuclei of two gametes is called as Okay, karyogamy, because it is a fusion of a nuclei, means nucleus of two cells, two gametes. Fusion takes place, therefore it is nothing but a karyogamy. So once now this is haploid male gamete, haploid female gamete. When these two nuclei are fused together and it becomes a diploid nucleus. There is a formation of a diploid nucleus. The cell becomes a diploid. Now this diploid cell can undergo a kind of a cell division known as meiosis. Meiosis takes place. When this meiosis takes place, there is a formation of a haploid spores takes place. Formation of a haploid spores takes place. Okay, that is because of the meiotic division. Okay, in this way, haploid spore formation takes place. Further continuation of life of the fungi occurs. So in this way, what happens? The sexual cycle will be completed. Sexual cycle will be completed in case of some of the fungi. So this is all regarding reproduction and also sexual cycle of a fungus. Now let us move to next aspect of fungi, that is classification of fungi. Classification of fungi. Students, please understand here, fungi, kingdom fungi is a vast aspect. It is a vast one. Therefore, we have a separate kingdom for the fungi, and this fungi, kingdom fungi, can be divided into different classes or different divisions. So for any classification, there is some basis for classification for different organisms, for every organisms. Okay, for everything in general, for classification we have a basis. Similarly, here for the classification of a fungi, what are the basis for the classification of these fungi? One is morphology of mycelium. Morphology of mycelium is considered. This is one of the bases. Okay, what is this morphology of mycelium? Whether a hyphae is septate or aseptate, branched, unbranched. So in this way, so morphology of the mycelium is considered as a basis for the classification of a fungi. And another one is mode of spore formation. Mode of spore formation. How the spores are formed. Mode of spore formation, or kind of spores. What kind of spores are present? How they reproduce? Okay, through the formation of spores. So that type of a spore which are produced in that specific fungi. So this is considered. And another one is fruiting body. Next one is called as a fruiting body. Okay, based on the fruiting bodies. Okay, what kind of fruiting bodies are present? Okay, name of the fruiting body which is present in this kind of a fungi. So based on these three characteristics, kingdom fungi is classified into four different divisions or four different classes. So I think sometimes you may get a question in your mind, what is the meaning of fruiting body? So you have to understand here carefully now. Fruiting body is a structure which can produce spores. Spore producing structures are called as fruiting bodies. Now you have to understand here, the meaning of fruiting body is the structure which can produce spores are called as fruiting bodies. So based on these characteristics, kingdom fungi is divided into four different divisions or four different classes. First one is Phycomycetes. Phycomycetes is one of the class or division, Phycomycetes. And next one is called as Ascomycetes. Ascomycetes. Next one is called as Basidiomycetes. Basidiomycetes. And another one is called as a Deuteromycetes. Deuteromycetes. Okay, so these are four different classes. In the textbook it is mentioned classes, but the kingdom is divided into division only. But anyway, you can remember it as a class or it is as a division. Okay, fungi, kingdom fungi is divided into 4 classes, and you must practice to say the names of the classes. One is called as a Phycomycetes, Ascomycetes, Basidiomycetes, Deuteromycetes. So it means these are all mycetes means fungi. Okay, so you have to understand about different classes. Now let us discuss each one in detail. Now let us move to the first class 1. Okay, class 1, that is Phycomycetes. Phycomycetes. So what are the characteristic features and what kind of organisms are placed in this class? Okay, let us see. First one is Phycomycetes. Phycomycetes. Now, here you have to understand once again the general characteristics or salient features of these fungi. Now, whatever the class it may be, either it may be Phycomycetes or Ascomycetes or Basidiomycetes or Deuteromycetes, they are mainly classified based on the structure of mycelium, spore formation and a type of fruiting body. And one more thing is you have to understand about where these organisms live. Okay, so they may be living in the water also. Okay, these Phycomycetes may be living in the water, or they are aquatic organisms, and also on decaying wood. Okay, they may be aquatic. It means they live in the water, or they may live on decaying wood also. So this is what their the living place or habitat. These fungi will live in the water as well as on the decaying wood. Some are living in the water, some are living on the decaying wood. And very important, this is what you have to understand regarding these organisms is okay, that is the kind of mycelium or type of mycelium or hyphae. Here they have got aseptate and cenocytic. Aseptate and cenocytic hyphae is present. So this is what you must remember here. This is the only class where, okay, so this aseptate hyphae is present. Phycomycetes are the only class which has got aseptate hyphae. I have already told you the meaning of aseptate hyphae. The hyphae which has a continuous tube and which do not have a cross walls is called as a aseptate hyphae, and that hyphae is a primitive one, and that hyphae is present only in case of a Phycomycetes, and this aseptate hyphae is not present in other classes or other divisions. So this is very very important from the point of examination. And another one is these fungi, they reproduce asexually. They reproduce asexually by the formation of a spores known as planospores. Planospores, they reproduce by planospores. These planospores, so they reproduce by planospores, and so these spores are non-motile one. Non-motile spores. Planospores are non-motile spores, and also they reproduce by zoospores. Okay, zoospores, and these zoospores are motile ones, motile spores. So that they reproduce by the formation of two different types of spores, asexual spores. Okay, they reproduce asexually by the formation of two different types of spores. One is called as planospores and zoospores. Okay, here planospores are non-motile ones and zoospores are the motile ones. Okay, and they reproduce these spores. One more thing you have to understand here, these spores are produced on a structure, I told you already, they are produced on a structure known as fruiting bodies. They produce on a structure known as fruiting bodies. Okay, one more thing you have to understand here, on the fruiting body, how are these spores produced? Whether they are produced inside some specified structure or on the outer surface of that structure. Based on this, we can classify the spores are either developed exogenously or otherwise endogenously. So these are the two very important terms which are mentioned in the textbook, and you must know the meaning of these two. The spores are either produced exogenously or they may be produced endogenously. So here exogenously means they are produced on the outer surface of that structure, okay, or the fruiting body on which the spores are produced. Now the spores are produced on the outer surface here. So it means here they are produced exogenously. Suppose if the spores are produced on a cup-shaped structure or produced inside the cup, so this is what we call it as a endogenously. So in this way what happens, we can classify how they are produced, how the spores are produced. This is nothing but a mode of formation of the spores. So that here aplanospores they are produced, aplanospores and zoospores are produced exogenously. Okay, so these are produced these spores are produced endogenously, so these spores are produced endogenously. So these aplanospores and zoospores are produced endogenously in some specific structure. Okay, and one more thing is, you have to understand here, there is a formation, sexual reproduction takes place by the formation of a zygospores. By the formation of a zygospores. Sexual reproduction takes place by the formation of zygospores. So these zygospores are formed by the fusion of a male and female gametes. By the fusion of a male and female gametes, zygospore. So because here when these male and female gametes are fused and there is a formation of a structure known as a zygospore. So this zygospore later which undergoes meiotic division and next aploid spores are produced. So in this way what happens, this Phycomycetes they reproduce both asexually as well as sexually. Once again, if you want, I can tell you, so they live in water or they are aquatic or sometimes they live on decaying wood, and here very important is the hyphae or mycelium is aseptate and cenocytic, because this is the only class or division where aseptate hyphae is present. And asexual reproduction takes place, also sexual reproduction takes place. Asexual reproduction takes place by the formation of a zoospores as well as aplanospores, and these spores are produced on a fruiting body endogenously. And here the formation of a zygospores takes place by the fusion of a male and female gametes. And these male and female gametes, when they are produced, these male and female gametes may be similar or may be dissimilar. So this male and female gametes, if they are similar, then such gametes are called as a isogametes or isogamous. Isogamous. When both are similar, male and female gametes are similar in their size. When they are similar in their size, then this is called as a isogamous. And if male and female gametes are dissimilar, then it is nothing but an anisogamous. Anisogamous. Okay, during the sexual reproduction, when the gametes are produced, these gametes either they may be similar in their size or they may be dissimilar. Okay, so then dissimilar gametes are present, then it is nothing but an anisogamous, or it is also called as a oogamous. Oogamous. So you will get these two words repeatedly again in the next lesson also. Okay, in this way what happens, sexual reproduction is completed. Okay, in case of a Phycomycetes. Now you have to understand what kind of fungi are included here. What are the examples for this class? One is called as a mucor. So you should understand these examples also, mucor. And another one is called as a rhizopus. Rhizopus, very important from the point of NEET, which is also called as a bread mold, which is called as a bread mold, commonly known as bread mold, very important from the point of NEET. Okay, so which grows on the other items, okay, food items. And next one is called as albigo. So which is also very important since this is a parasitic fungus on the mustard plant. So this is a parasitic fungus on the mustard plant, therefore it is very important from the point of a NEET. This example you may get in the NEET examination. Which of the following is a parasitic fungus on the mustard plant? Okay, I did not write in the bracket. Okay, albigo is a parasitic fungus on the mustard. Okay, you have to understand these examples regarding this class. Okay, so with this Phycomycetes is over. And let us understand one more is Ascomycetes. Next class 2, so that is Ascomycetes. Ascomycetes. Here, once again you have to understand what are the characteristics of fungi which are included in this Ascomycetes. Now, very important aspect is these fungi are commonly known as sac fungi. These are commonly known as sac fungi. Okay, because during sexual reproduction they produce a bag-like structure or a sac-like structure which is known as asci. That structure is called as asci, which are produced during sexual reproduction, in which spores are produced. Okay, in that sac-like structure called as asci, in which sexual spores are produced, therefore these fungi are called as a sac fungi. And here these fungi, okay, mainly they reproduce by different methods like asexual method of reproduction and also sexual method of reproduction. So they reproduce asexually. They reproduce asexually by the formation of conidia, spores known as conidia. Okay, they reproduce by the formation of a conidia. So this is what you have to understand here. Asexual reproduction takes place by conidia, and these conidia are produced on a fruiting body known as conidiophores. Conidiophores, very important terms for NEET. So these are very important from the point of NEET. So here conidia are produced by a fruiting body. This is name of the fruiting body, and these spores are produced exogenously. These spores are produced exogenously. This is what you have to understand regarding asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction takes place by the formation of a spores known as conidia, and conidia are produced in a fruiting body known as conidiophores, and these spores are produced exogenously on this fruiting body. And one more thing is sexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction. Okay, sexual reproduction here it takes place mainly by the formation of a spores known as ascospores. Ascospores. Hence the name Ascomycetes. Since this fungi reproduces asexually by the formation of ascospores, therefore the fungi is known as Ascomycetes. And these spores, these are the ascospores are the spores. Okay, they have to produce on a fruiting body, and you must know about the name of the fruiting body also. So here these ascospores are produced in the fruiting body known as ascocarps. Ascocarps are the fruiting bodies on which these ascospores are produced, and these spores are produced in a sac-like structure known as asci. Asci, sac-like structure known as asci. Therefore these fungi are also called as a club fungi, which I have already told you. Okay, and so since these fungi, these spores are produced in a asci, in a cup-shaped structure, and these are produced endogenously. Spores are produced endogenously here. Why? Because these are produced in a sac-like structure. Okay, inside the sac-like structure they are produced, therefore the spores are produced endogenously. These spores are released and they develop into new organism. Okay, so in this what happens, this fungi it reproduces both by sexual method and asexual method. One more thing is here, these fungi they may be saprophytic also. They may be saprophytic or they may be coprophilous. They may be coprophilous, which means they live on the dung of cattle. Okay, so this is what they live. And one more thing is some of these fungi, some of these Ascomycetes like morels and Baphilis are edible. So they may be edible also. Edible means they can be eaten. So this is also very important from the point of NEET. Okay, they may ask in the examination. Okay, and now you should understand about some common examples of this class. One is called Aspergillus. So this Aspergillus is one of the examples of this class, and another one is called as a claviceps, and next one is called as a neurospora. Neurospora, very very important from the point of a NEET. So this neurospora fungus which can be extensively used in genetics and biochemical research. This is the fungus which is used in the genetics and biochemical research. So with this we have discussed about so this ascomycetes. Okay, let us move to next class. Okay, that is basidiomycetes. Next one is basidiomycetes. Next class, that is basidiomycetes. Here basidiomycetes, these are commonly known as, they are commonly called by various names, that is mushrooms. They are commonly known as mushrooms, like agaricus is one of the very familiar example. Okay, agaricus and puffball, toadstools. So in this way we can call by different names. And what is the speciality of this fungus? I told you already. And these fungi they reproduce. Okay, these fungi generally they reproduce by sexual method, asexual method, and okay, by the formation of different types of spores. But these fungi they have no asexual spores. Asexual spores are absent here. Asexual spores are absent. This is the speciality of the fungus basidiomycetes. No asexual spores are present, but they reproduce by vegetative method. Only. Okay, they have vegetative method of reproduction. It means what? No asexual reproduction takes place here. Okay, why asexual reproduction is absent? Because no asexual spores are produced. And primary reproduction, principal reproduction is okay, so here vegetative method of reproduction. And another one is they have no sex organs. Sex organs are absent here. Sex organs are absent. So you may get confused here sometimes. No asexual spores, it means no asexual reproduction takes place. Sex organs are absent, and when sex organs are absent, no sexual reproduction takes place. Like that you have to think. And but here plasmogamy takes place. Which we have already discussed in the beginning. Plasmogamy takes place. Okay, what is the meaning of this plasmogamy? Plasmogamy is nothing but the fusion of a protoplasm between two cells. Plasmogamy takes place between hyphae, two different hypha. Okay, plasmogamy takes place between different hypha which are genetically different. Two hypha which are genetically different. Okay, so now this is one hypha and this is one more hypha. Both are genetically different. This plus and this is minus, we can represent. And this genetic characters are different. Its genetic characters are different. And fusion takes place. Cytoplasm of the both hyphae, they get fused, and with this what happens? Plasmogamy is completed. And followed by karyogamy takes place. Followed by karyogamy. Once if the karyogamy takes place, karyogamy is nothing but here fusion of a nuclei takes place. When there is a fusion of a nuclei of both the hyphae takes place, okay, or they come together in the fused cytoplasm, and it results in the formation of a dikaryon. So dikaryon takes place here. Dikaryons or dikaryotic stage takes place, and later it develops into a structure known as basidium. Okay, it develops into a structure known as a basidium. Okay, so this basidium, since there is a formation of basidium takes place, therefore the class is named as basidiomycetes. In this basidium what happens? It undergo meiotic division now. Basidium undergoes meiotic division. It undergoes meiosis because sexual cycle includes three different stages. You know that very well: plasmogamy, karyogamy, and meiosis. When there is a meiosis takes place, and it results in the formation of a spores. Okay, so now this is basidium, and this basidium, when it undergoes meiosis, okay, there is a formation of a 4 spores takes place. 4 spores are formed. Now these spores are called as basidiospores. Basidiospores. So this is very, very important from the point of a need. How many basidiospores are produced from each basidium? Okay, 4 basidia, 4 basidiospores are produced from each basidium. Okay, why only 4 basidiospores are produced? Why not there are 3, or why not there are 2, or any other odd number? What is the reason for the formation of only 4 spores from each basidium? That is because of the meiotic division. When the parent cell undergoes a meiotic division and there is a formation of 4 daughter cells, therefore 4 basidiospores are produced from each basidium. So in this way what happens, okay, sexual reproduction takes place, and from these basidiospores what happens, next new fungus is formed. Okay, so this is what the general characteristics features of so this basidiomycetes. Let's understand some examples, some specific examples of this class. That is Agaricus. You know that very well, I have already told you. Agaricus is one of the examples for this. And next one is, you must understand, that is Ustilago. Ustilago is one more example, which is a parasitic fungi and which can cause a disease, a smut disease. And Puccinia. Next example is Puccinia, which can cause a rust disease. And Ustilago can cause smut disease. So these are all 3 examples as per your textbook. You have to understand. One is Agaricus, next one is called as Ustilago, and another one is called as Puccinia. Okay, so this Ustilago and Puccinia are the parasitic fungi which can cause different diseases. Okay, Ustilago can cause a smut disease, Puccinia can cause a rust disease. Okay, with this basidiomycetes is over, and we have to discuss one more class, that is deuteromycetes. Let's understand about deuteromycetes. So I can write here deuteromycetes. Now let us see deuteromycetes. Next class. Deuteromycetes. One very important characteristic feature of this deuteromycetes is these are commonly known as imperfect fungi. These are commonly known as, generally known as imperfect fungi. So this is very, very important for PUC examination. May not be important for NEET. Okay, because every student knows the meaning of this. Why it is called as a imperfect fungi? Just I can tell you the reason. In fungi, you know that very well, fungi reproduces by 3 methods: vegetative method, asexual method, and sexual method. The sexual phase, sexual stage, or sexual reproduction is considered as a perfect stage. Sexual reproduction is considered, sexual stage or sexual phase is considered as a perfect stage. But these fungi, they do not have sexual phase, no sexual reproduction, or no sexual phase is present. No sexual reproduction is present. Therefore, these fungi are considered as imperfect fungi. Okay, in this way you can write why this deuteromycetes are known as imperfect fungi, because sexual phase is absent, sexual reproduction is absent, or only asexual reproduction is known. So in this way you can write, but better to write this sexual phase is absent in this fungi. Therefore, it is known as a imperfect fungi. And so here no asexual reproduction is present, therefore it is considered as imperfect fungi. And they have to reproduce only by asexual method of reproduction. Asexual reproduction takes place only by the formation of conidia. Asexual reproduction takes place by the formation of spores known as conidia. You know that very well. Conidia are the asexual spores and they are produced in a structure known as conidiophores. Fruiting bodies are known as conidiophores. Okay, the fruiting bodies of this conidia are called as conidiophores. Conidiophores, and these conidia are produced exogenously. Okay, it means on outer surface of this. Okay, and these fungi, they may be saprophytic, or they may be parasitic also. Saprophytic or parasitic also. Okay, and you must understand about some familiar examples. Okay, some of the examples. One is Alternaria. Alternaria is one of the example for this, and you should remember the names. And Alternaria is one, and the next one is called as Coletotrichum. Coletotrichum and Trichoderma. So these are three familiar examples for this class. So with this we have completed this kingdom fungi in detail. Okay, thank you very much, children. In the next class we'll move to next one.